My name is Cathy Wood and I'm currently Director of North International School in the Netherlands. I feel extremely blessed to have worked 38 years in education. 26 of them have been spent leading schools. Recently, North International School has been very proud of the fact that our work has been recognised and shortlisted for an international award for the implementation of an initiative that encourages the cohesion of values with a unique community involving 5 different nations. Prior to this position, I have been a head teacher of 4 very different schools in the UK and the Far East, where a values-based education approach has been initiated and embedded. I have enjoyed working in higher education, in initial teacher training, in the inspection of schools, and also as an international consultant supporting schools and governments on education reform across the world. It is this experience that I draw upon today to share with you the process of embedding a values-based education approach and how values has been placed at the centre of a school curriculum that I've been privileged to lead. With reference to the values-based education model seen here and called the 7 transformational aspects of values-based education, I'd like to share with you some examples of how I went about introducing and embedding the curriculum aspect of values-based education, the 5th pillar of the model. I will explore the formal, informal, and implicit layers of any curriculum provision and share what I call my 3 golden keys to unlocking the recipe for a positive values-based curriculum in school. But first, before I share what I've called my golden keys, I would ask you to take a moment to reflect on this question. Do you know a school that makes you long for childhood? Do you lead in such a school? If, as an adult, you could go back to school, what sort of school would you want to go to learn in, and to have the confidence that it was going to shape your destiny for a future that will be enormously different from what we dare to imagine? Whatever the constraints and challenges of an individual school, is every day filled with elements of awe and wonder, high engagement with learning, surprise and laughter. Are you brave enough to be a leader of the next 2 generations of people? The same people who will change the future and keep what is important in our world safe and secure. As a school leader, you need to be crystal clear on what your own golden keys are to unlocking the recipe for a positive values-based curriculum, fit for purpose for today and for our tomorrow. In my experience, every school I have worked in, I have had to modify and adapt this recipe. Whether you are considering the shaping of a new curriculum or reviewing your current curriculum, any leadership team should first ensure the school has a strong sense of purpose and vision for staff, children, their families, as well as the community the school serves. A vision that not only reflects the local scene, but one that engages a global setting. Leaders need to set a strong role model of thinking big and digging deep, and in so doing, they make the implicit explicit. So my first golden key, think big, dig deep, asks you how deep are you actually digging? This ambitious vision needs to include a direct influence on the curriculum provision, having a clear, purposeful, well-defined curriculum which meets the needs of students and one that is reviewed regularly is critical to any school's success. Delving deep and asking what are the needs of our students is a good place to start, taking into account global challenges such as living on Mars or world terrorism or global pandemics. A dynamic, evolving curriculum avoids a narrow focus and one that is assessed by ticking boxes. Here are some examples of the prompts I used when undertaking a curriculum review recently at ATF North. If we are asking our staff what are the needs of our students alongside preparing them for the challenges they will encounter in their future, we have no option but to consider how we are actually teaching values for successful living. How are we equipping our students with the tools for surviving successfully in our complex world? Together as a school community, you need to make sense of the curriculum for yourself. You need to bring it alive and make learning inspirational and exciting for both children and staff. It takes effort, conviction, and passion. In the past, I have led values-based workshops for leaders from highly regarded international schools, and they often reported that they felt something was missing. Part of their jigsaw of leading schools was just not there. The part of the jigsaw that makes a good, successful school a great one. They soon came to recognise that incorporating a values-based education approach to the curriculum completed the puzzle. In my own schools, I have often found it easier to kickstart the values debate by inviting external speakers. In my case here, you can see Neil and Jane led a staff professional day recently at ATF North. These staff professional days are days well spent feeding the vision and purpose and helping to provide the basis of future strategic working together. Here I provide examples of digging deep, addressing the formal aspects of curriculum provision and making sure that the vision for the curriculum was clearly communicated. Our long-term plans related to that vision and the values that we had identified as our priority. We made sure our assembly time was strategically related to core values, and we made very explicit what living our values looked like in everyday practice, how we speak to each other, the role of reflection and celebration. We looked at the place of values in our policies, our school improvement planning, even in our formal reporting to parents, all the time making the implicit explicit. I turn now to my golden key number 2. Think for a moment. What are your values for living a good life? This values-based approach powerfully reaches out to people of all cultures and faiths. It moves the spirit and touches the soul and is a guiding light for all who want to make a qualitative difference to their own and other lives. When I reflect back to early in my first headship, 2 events moved my spirit and touched my soul and influenced my commitment as a leader to placing values at the core of the curriculum in any school I was leading. Following the events of 9/11 in 2001, you can see here on the photograph on the left, the whole school came together for a 5-minute silence, and in that silence I can recall feeling the weight of responsibility I'd been given as head teacher to ensure that the children in my care, the future leaders of the 21st century, would be armed with the skills and competencies to live happily and successfully in an ever-increasing complex world. This was supported by my reading of All Our Futures, a report published in 1999 and led by Sir Ken Robinson. The report also resonated deeply with me, and I became totally committed to the belief that whatever mandatory curriculum I was asked to work with, wherever I was in the world, values must always have its central place. By clearly identifying a set of values for your school and curriculum, you then set about devising a systematic approach to how that can be delivered. In the schools I have led, each school took a different path but arrived at the same place, resulting in a creative, inquiry-led curriculum that embeds both the implicit and explicit values appropriate to learning, and one that is owned and practiced by all, ensuring that values permeates the whole learning environment. For example, at North, we have been working really hard to agree a set of ethical values and have arrived at a collective agreement on a deeper learning framework based on the work of Michael Fullan. Our 6 C's of communication, creativity, critical thinking, character, citizenship and collaboration is now placed at the core of our work together. It has required bridging national norms and cultures, challenging complacency, agreeing on ethical vocabulary that would help to nurture ethical intelligence, and deepen our understanding and guide our own personal moral compass. Working together over a period of 18 months has ensured that we have devised a systematic approach to the teaching of core values. We have now made a range of video clips for each of the 6 C's, and these are ready available on our newly designed website with the sole purpose of promoting and deepening our understanding across the school, the consistency of our 6 C's in action, working across the whole curriculum from our youngest to our oldest students. I do hope you have some time to look at these little clips on each of the 6 C's. However, I want to show you now our film, We Are AF North, that captures a brief insight into how our 6 C's are working in practice. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you notice the emphasis we've placed on the journey of nurturing, growing, and becoming competent in how we all live and work together.
We all start at the beginning. We take one step at a time to become a master of our arts. To achieve our goals, we trust in the 6 core values.
We collaborate. It's the key to finding out who you are. We discover our strengths and weaknesses by working together. Together, we can achieve more and make this world a better place. We communicate. Communication works for those who work at it. So that's what we do every day, because our ideas need to be heard.
We are creative. Some people think creativity is something you're born with. You have it or you don't. The truth is, creativity resides in all of us. All we need is the opportunity to experiment, to let our imagination run free. We have character. We want to find our own path and our own personality. We have courage, perseverance, and a sense of wonder.
We pay attention to citizenship. We live in a multicultural society, one of the many values and beliefs. We try to educate ourselves on our differences and respect each other's way of living. We're all part of the same world, and together we can make it better. We think critically. Truly great thinkers dare to ask questions, open their minds to new possibilities, and dare to look at things from different angles. We're open to the opinions of others and seek out different ways of thinking.
It's these values that help us to grow into the person we aim to become. We can start our journey to personal growth together. We take one step at a time to become a master of our arts. We are AF North.
We had a lot of fun making the We Are AF North video, and students enjoyed visiting a professional recording studio for the voiceovers. And here we are having even more fun holding a red carpet open ceremony to celebrate the students' hard work. Before we move on now to the 3rd golden key, please take a moment to reflect on how your values permeate the learning environment of your school, particularly the implicit and hidden aspects of any school curriculum. And so to my golden key number 3. I ask you, are you thinking big and beyond? Whose drum are you listening to? Are you involving everyone? The ingredients for an inspirational, dynamic, engaging curriculum cannot be left to chance. You need to prepare it, mix it, and present it well. This is a question to challenge leaders to make sure that the culture of the school encourages everyone to look outward and model asking big questions, rather than looking inward and following everyday routines unthinkingly and being the drummer to someone else's beat. This action to look beyond determines the vibrancy of the curriculum and whether it is meeting the needs of the next generation of world shapers, doers, thinkers and leaders. Here are some examples of how the teams I've worked with over the years have thought big and beyond. This is a photograph of the efforts we've put into creating an incredible learning environment. Detail to the careful signage, sensory experiences, dry riverbeds, fountains, an environment that promoted reflection, care, peacefulness, and even our marble compass that you can see there on the right-hand side not only encouraged lots of mathematical activities, but it drew analogies with our own guiding moral compass. Children and adults alike could not help being touched positively by this feel-good environment and just enjoy being. Here is a few seconds of Prakriti, who's 7, reflecting in this area, enjoying being.
We care about our reflection garden by looking after all our plants and trees. Sometimes I just like to sit down and think about happy things. We show consideration with our friends if anybody is new, because new people don't know what they're doing and we kind of help them.
A strong example of the promotion of the school's core values through key experiences is seen here on our work on sustainability. Ask yourself how many leaders in the school have an allowance for the development and innovation of the curriculum. At Hornbill, I appointed a member of staff to take the lead in the development of literacy and numeracy skills through sustainability. And part of that work, we had a student group, our Eco Warriors, who led the way in practicing core values in all their activities. In this photograph, you can see evidence of valuing pupil voice. Our students composed meaningful reminders to anyone who sat for a while on one of our benches. Wise words from the mouth of babes. Here you can see statement, the first duty of love is to listen. Have confidence you're smart in your own special way. Members of our support team took the lead in developing playground leaders for our playtimes. This group took responsibility in helping to promote a range of fun activities and supporting younger children at playtime with games and mentoring. But other leadership groups included library leaders, arts leaders, student ambassadors and student parliament group, making it very visible in our learning environment. Some recent examples of our curriculum in action can be seen in our AFNorth Rocks exhibition, which values and celebrates our individuality and diversity, or our student-led projects such as the grade 10 students working with grade 1 and 2 on ethical values. Our Many Nations, One World, One Responsibility project addressed critical thinking and creativity through thinking big and beyond on global issues. Our student leadership seminars saw a 4-star general responding to the question, "What is your greatest achievement as a leader?" The general answered, "To be recognised as a leader, i.e. the greatest indication of a military leader's success, is that others are willing to follow him, not because of his rank, but because of the values he expounds and the inspiration and motivation he is able to nurture in others, even in the most hostile of circumstances." These examples of student-led projects encourage learners to grasp how ethical perspectives and conventions can differ within and between societies, and in so doing, deepen our abilities to become more tolerant and to live a more peaceful, happier life. All this work weaves together to develop a deeper sense of belonging and to equip and empower our students to what Neil Hawkes calls a personal, holistic competence by exposing students to expert knowledge and high levels of peer engagement, helping them to realise that they can make a difference both at an individual and global level. It is important to develop a deep sense of belonging and to ensure you celebrate and make the values and success explicit at every opportunity through your reward system, your newsletters, website and prospectus. To conclude Thinking Big and Beyond, remember, creative and thoughtful leaders take seriously the job of delivering a curriculum fit for the children of today and tomorrow. They know deeply the needs of their pupils, are passionate about raising expectations and aspirations, and have a keen awareness of local and national and international trends in curriculum development. Above all, they keep focused on who the drummer is, and they keep the beat strong. It is important to mention the impact of implementing a value-based curriculum, and for this, I present views from an external viewpoint. Dr. Neil Hawkes, founder of values-based education following his visit to Ath North, commented on the way in which the school guides learners to be self-led, ensuring that their thinking and behaviour emanates from the authentic hub of their personality. Her Majesty's inspectors judged Hornbill School as outstanding on more than one visit and drew particular attention to the strong values that underpin everything that the school does. And here is a school governor, Dr. Hugh Morgan-Davis, and a parent sharing his view on the impact of values.
Hello, my name is Hugh Morgan-Davis. I'm a senior doctor and recent ex-chair of governors of Hornbill School, Brunei, supporting Mrs. Cathy Wood, the head teacher there until recently. I want to describe to you my experiences as a governor and parent of a school dedicated and sharply focused on delivering a values-based curriculum and education to its community of 350 children, and the impact this had on myself and my family. Entering the school the first time as a parent of a joining 3-year-old was a magical experience. The warmth and inclusive approach of children and staff made an immediate impact on my son and to us as parents. Clearly, we'd entered a happy, healthy and safe community of which we'd become a part. As I came to know the school as a parent and then a governor and then chair of governors over the succeeding years, I came to realise this feeling of overwhelming inclusion, cooperation and sense of belonging was no accident. Neither were the academic achievements and standards. The entire school, through its commitment to a values-based curriculum and approach to learning, resulted in a community of high-quality, kind and moral individuals becoming highly equipped to succeed in the greater world, both morally, emotionally and academically. As a governor, it was a privilege to be involved in the school and to learn at first hand the hard work and care with which a values-based curriculum is developed and maintained on an ongoing basis. To be a questioning friend of such a school is a true privilege, and I'm only sorry it's over. As to my son, who is now a boisterous 12-year-old and now living in a completely different country, the impact of being immersed in values-based education for several years, I am convinced, will be lifelong. In his kindness and his consideration, he has an effortless ability to communicate and bond with many different children from many different backgrounds. There is a powerful sense of right and wrong and of what is kindness and fair treatment. He has the makings of an extraordinary individual and exhibits and applies the values that he's learned here on a daily basis, and I'm sure will continue to do so into adulthood. In a difficult and uncertain world, it is vital children have a values-based education with a carefully thought out values-based curriculum to give them the tools they need to thrive and succeed and to achieve happiness both for themselves and those in their lives. I would urge schools to embrace a values-based curriculum as the rewards in both academic achievement and personal development are huge. Staff and pupils alike will find themselves members of a very special community which will impact them for their entire lives. As for anyone who has the opportunity to become a governor of a school using a values-based curriculum, I would urge them to grab the opportunity with both hands. As it is for the children, it will be a life-changing experience.
I'm going to close with the wise words of Prakriti, who at the time of recording this video was 7 years old. Prakriti had arrived in Brunei from Nepal at a young age of 5, with no knowledge at all of English and very limited understanding in her own language, Nepali. This is an example of how you can actually feel and touch values in action. Everyone who enters your school can see it at work. Everywhere you look, everywhere you walk, they can hear it and smell it. The spoken word promotes it in everyday conversation. And most importantly, without fail, there is an emotive spiritual response. Thank you for listening.
This is our values board. We can easily just touch our values. Our values come as one, and they make us better people, and they make the world a better place to live.